that there's been a question that has been kind of swirling out there, and I wanted to ask you. You and I are not what I would consider the rah-rah cheerleader kind of fans. We love to sit in realism, though we are optimistic, we are hopeful. We do give them the benefit of the doubt. But I started to see this circling post-draft, and people were saying the 49ers are back. And I look at the roster, and I look at last year's roster, and I still think I like last year's roster a lot better than I like this year's roster so far. Where are you with the 49ers are back conversation?
Again, I can make the case, but see, I'm a rhetoric guy. I would be great on a debate show because I can take either side of the argument and make a compelling argument either way. So if we want to look at this thing glass half full, I could make that argument. It's just hard for me realistically to be excited about um the roster in totality. For this team to be, what I've heard people talk say as much as I don't know, there's a guy on socials, Coach Yak. He's
Yeah,
talking
I like
about
that guy.
13-4 is nonsense. I don't see it. And then the debate I've been having here recently is people are talking about the strength of schedule as one of the reasons why this team is gonna, bounce back. But see, the problem with using a metric like strength of schedule as a predictive measure is that what you're telling me is a 6-11 team is going to be a 13-4 team this year. So are we using last season as a predictor or not? And if we are, that prediction doesn't really make any sense because if you look at this team, I know there was a lot of injury problems, and
Mhm.
that's fair. But there was a mass exodus of productive players that left, and due to the fact that we pretty much blown the last three drafts, there is a vacuum of talent. So what you're asking me to believe is that this free agent class, which again is 2 years in a row, is kind of meh, if you ask me. Last year I gave them the benefit of the doubt and was like, well, maybe we're doing this thing where the sum is greater than its individual parts, and they're just going to be better. That Malik Collins and Yaya Gross Matos and all these guys are going to somehow um be greater than, and that just wasn't the case. They weren't good football players, and it showed. So now what we've done, and we've signed a bunch of scratch and dent players, um and drafted a bunch of guys, and you're asking me to believe that these guys are going to come in and be plug and play, and we're going to hit like on 8 or 9 of these, because that's what would have to happen for this team to be a contender, is we'd have to hit on quite a few of these guys because you need frontline players to replace the guys that left. And it's hard to ask rookies to do that. But okay, let's say we do that, then you still have a depth problem. So even if all these guys come in and we fill all the spots on the offensive line, and we fill all the spots on the defensive line, and we fill the spots at linebacker, and we fill the spot at corner, we fill the spot at safety, JJ is the wide receiver one that our fan base is clamoring for. I mean, okay, let's say all of that happens. We still don't have, where's the depth coming from? And so that is where I'm at with it. I am really, really, obviously I want them to do well, but I am definitely firmly on the wait and see to the pessimistic side. I don't I don't see this team being, you know, in the league with the Eagles or hell, even the Rams or, any of these good teams at the top of the NFC yet. But, you know, I would love to be wrong.